Many people on the right have been accusing myself and Chris of being paid by the DNC, and we just wanted to come on and say that's an incredibly dumb thing to think. Yeah, like, congratulations, you discovered where both sides have pallet man.
It seems like you guys only continue to dig yourselves into a deeper hole. You literally tweeted out 2 weeks ago, "I am not owned by any administration. I do not work for the DNC." And while you may not work directly for the DNC, you work for and are managed by a company that is funded directly by the DNC. And then you say, "I made my Twitter in 2014 as a kid." However, Harry's account was created in 2011. Meaning if Harry created this account, he would have been 8 years old in the first or second grade. Now you tell me what first or second graders you know that are on Twitter. And according to other documents and files that I've come across, Harry is not just some random guy who discovered an interest for politics. Because what we see here is payments to Biden Victory Fund, Biden for President, and Act Blue. All of these payments were made by people in Harry's family. And the first name of the family member has been blurred out as well as it's marked out up here because that's not important. What's important to know is that your family has deep and historical connections to the DNC, Harry. You didn't just gain an interest in politics, you were raised in a household that has historically supported and funded the DNC. And all I can say to you guys is that you better hope that your companies or whoever else you work with covers your tail, because if we look here at the TikTok community guidelines, to avoid misleading people, it is important to acknowledge any material relationship with a third party that may be relevant to the credibility of your statements. And that third party that the guidelines are referring to in this situation would be Pallet Media, which was funded $200,000 directly by the DNC. If you read below me, this includes paid partnerships and brand endorsements, again, which would be Pallet Media. And for other types of material relationships, the creator must also make a clear disclosure about such connections in video captions, which neither of you have done. This section of the guidelines concludes by saying we do not allow any form of paid political promotion on TikTok. It took you guys 2 days to make an original response video after this information came out. Chris, you indirectly lied, and you know you did. You try to use your words in a literal sense and say that you don't work for the DNC. However, you are managed by and work for a third-party company that's directly funded by the DNC. And Harry, it's very weird that you were on Twitter in the first and second grade. And it's even more telling that your family has a broad and extensive history of donating to the Biden administration and the DNC. At this point, I don't think people even care whether or not you are directly funded by the DNC. It's the fact that both of you continually lied and said you have no type of correlation or partnerships with the DNC, but you do. And as this story has gone on and developed, you two have only dug yourselves into deeper holes by continuing to tell lies.
I genuinely do not care what the Republican Party says about Gen Z. They call us weak. They call us...
Harry, you just keep digging a hole deeper and deeper for yourself, bud. You claim that, you aren't getting paid, or you claim that what you're saying is your opinion. But you just got exposed again because the internet found that contract with you and the DNC. And I'm going to show that right now. Right. In 2022, Biden's campaign team connected with young social media influencers, including Harry, to draw in voters 18 to 29. He signed with Pallet Management, which is paid and funded by the DNC, more than $200,000 to push their lies and propaganda. What I find very offensive, Harry, is you claim that you are for the American people. But if that was true, then you wouldn't be getting paid by the Democrats to lie. If you were honest, you would say no to any kind of money. But here we are. The truth is out.
So some MAGA trolls have been claiming that I'm a shill paid for by the...
Look, dude, we can all check the FEC records that shows your talent management companies being paid by the DNC for your influencer psyop to get Gen Z to vote Democrat. But here's the thing, it's very easy for Harry to lie about this stuff on TikTok, but on Twitter it's a whole other story. Community notes, which is a thing that Elon brought to Twitter that allows users to add context to tweets, is truly one of the greatest things that's ever been created. So people added this community note to Harry's tweet talking about how his management company is being paid by the DNC. And then Harry tweeted this, and they added it again, and then he tweeted this, and then they added it again. I can't tell what's better in this case, the community note or the ratio.
We all know this kid, right? And how about this one? Well, as many of us have suspected for a long time, looks like those two are partisan hacks bought and paid for by the DNC to the tune of around $210,000. If you check their bios, both of them are managed by a company called Pallet Media. And you might think, well, why is that important? Because Pallet Media received direct payments by the DNC totaling $210,000. Apparently, the DNC didn't want to make direct payments. By the way, all of this is publicly available on the FEC website, so they don't want to make direct payments exposing Harry and his goons. So instead, they get a little creative with their accounting. First, they send the money to Pallet, which then manages their talents like Harry. Now, none of this should surprise anyone because it's public knowledge that Biden started an army of social media influencers. But I guess they didn't want you to know who.